The war for your mind is being fought in the wrong territory. You've been told it's a battle of thoughts, a struggle of willpower, a deficit of chemicals in your brain. You've fought hard on that battlefield, and you are exhausted. The fog, the weight, the slow erosion of color from the world, it feels like a life sentence handed down by your own mind. By the end of this, you will understand that feeling for what it often is: a distress signal sent from your body, written in a language you were never taught to read. You think you're fighting a civil war inside your own skull, a battle of you against you. Every morning you wake up and the enemy is already there, waiting. It tells you that you're not enough. It tells you to stay in bed. It drains the motivation from your limbs before you even have a chance to use it. So you try to fight back with reason, with affirmations, with logic. You try to outthink the sadness. You try to build a fortress of positive thoughts, but the foundation feels like it's built on sand. The exhaustion is profound. It's the weariness of a soldier who believes the enemy is their own reflection in the mirror. It feels like a character flaw, a personal failure, but what if it's a symptom? Think of the check engine light in a car. When it flashes, you don't get angry at the light. You don't try to cover it with tape or argue with it. You understand it's a signal pointing to a problem elsewhere. Under the hood, for years, medicine has focused on the flashing light of a low mood. It has tried to medicate the light, talk to the light, and retrain the light. And for many, that provides relief. But for millions, it doesn't. Because the problem was never the light itself. The problem is in the engine, the body. What if the signal your brain is sending isn't the problem? What if the signal is the only sane response to a body that is quietly on fire? To understand this, we need to talk about sickness. Remember the last time you had a really bad flu? You felt tired, you had no appetite, you lost all interest in socializing, in your hobbies in life. The world felt muted and grey. All you wanted to do was curl up and be left alone. That collection of feelings has a name: sickness behavior. It's an ancient survival program, orchestrated by your immune system. Your body detects a threat, a virus, a bacteria, and it unleashes an inflammatory response to fight it. Part of that response is sending chemical messengers called cytokines to the brain. Their message is blunt: shut it down, conserve energy, withdraw from the world, focus all resources on healing. Now, look at that list of symptoms again: low energy, loss of pleasure, social withdrawal, disrupted sleep, a sense of hopelessness. It's a perfect mirror of the diagnostic criteria for major depressive disorder. This is more than a coincidence. In laboratory settings, scientists can take a perfectly healthy volunteer, inject them with a substance that creates a mild, temporary inflammatory response, and watch as they develop classic depressive symptoms within hours. The feeling isn't an illusion, it is a biological state, a program running. Your brain is getting a signal that your body is under attack, so it's pulling you out of the world to protect you. The question then becomes terrifyingly simple. What if your depression is your brain's sickness behavior stuck in an endless loop? What if your body is convinced it's perpetually sick because a fire of chronic, low-grade inflammation is smoldering day after day, year after year? This changes the search. The mystery is no longer why am I sad? The mystery is where is the fire? And the sources are hiding in plain sight, woven into the fabric of modern life. The first place to look is your gut. Your digestive tract is home to trillions of microorganisms, a complex ecosystem that co-evolved with you. It's also the largest interface between you and the outside world, a barrier only one cell thick. When that barrier is healthy, it's a master gatekeeper. But when it's compromised by a poor diet, stress, or other insults, it becomes permeable. Think of it like the border security for your entire body getting overwhelmed. Undigested food particles, toxins and bacteria start leaking into your bloodstream, where they absolutely do not belong. Your immune system sees these as foreign invaders. It does what it's designed to do. It attacks. This creates a state of constant, low-grade civil unrest, a systemic inflammation that never gets to rest. Your gut is quite literally sending smoke signals directly to your brain, telling it that the homeland is under siege. This is why a person's stomach issues so often predict their mental state. The two are in constant conversation. But that's just one source. Think about the food you eat. Ultra-processed foods, high in sugar, refined carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats are powerfully pro-inflammatory. Every time you eat them, you are quite literally throwing gasoline on that smoldering fire. Then there's sleep. Just one night of poor sleep can spike inflammatory markers in your blood. Now multiply that by weeks, months, or years of chronic sleep deprivation. Your body interprets this as a major physical stressor, keeping the immune system on high alert. Psychological stress does the same. The relentless pressure of a toxic job, a difficult relationship, or financial worry activates the same ancient stress response pathways that were designed to save you from a predator. Your body doesn't know the difference between a tiger and an angry email from your boss. The result is a steady drip of stress hormones that over time promote inflammation. Your body, in its effort to protect you from a perceived threat, begins to damage itself. You live in an environment that is almost perfectly engineered to promote inflammation. It is not a moral failing. It's a mismatch between your ancient biology and your modern world. The critical insight here is that you are not broken. You are responding appropriately to an abnormal environment. The question is, how does this fire in your body breach the fortress of your mind? Your brain is the most protected organ in your body. It's encased in bone and shielded by a highly selective membrane called the blood-brain barrier. This barrier is like the most exclusive security checkpoint in the world. It determines what gets in and what stays out. For a long time, we believed this fortress was impenetrable. We now know it has windows and doors, and that chronic inflammation can essentially pick the locks. Those inflammatory messengers, the cytokines, produced in your gut or your fat cells or in response to stress, travel through your bloodstream. They arrive at the gates of the blood-brain barrier. Some can pass directly through. Others signal through specialized receptors, like ringing a doorbell that sets off alarms inside the house. Once the alarm is tripped, the brain's own immune cells, the microglia, wake up and start producing their own inflammatory soup. The fire has crossed the moat. The brain itself is now inflamed. This is where the chemistry of your mood is hijacked. First, these inflammatory molecules interfere with your neurotransmitters. They reduce your brain's ability to make serotonin, the molecule so many antidepressants target. They also increase the rate at which serotonin is broken down. It's a double hit. You're making less and getting rid of it faster. This is one reason why antidepressants sometimes feel like they're not working. You're pouring water into a bucket, but the inflammation is drilling holes in the bottom. Second, inflammation sabotages your brain's ability to grow and change. It suppresses a crucial protein called BDNF, which acts like fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps you grow new neurons and form new connections, a process called neurogenesis. This is especially true in the hippocampus, a brain region critical for learning, memory, and mood regulation. With inflammation raging, your brain's capacity to repair itself, to adapt, to learn its way out of a negative loop is severely impaired. It becomes less plastic, more rigid. More stuck, think of the experience of a 50-year-old man from Ohio. We'll call him Michael. He'd been on and off various medications for his persistent low mood for 2 decades. Nothing gave him more than temporary partial relief. He was resigned to a life lived in shades of grey. During a routine physical, his doctor ran a panel of blood tests, including one for C-reactive protein, a key marker of systemic inflammation. Michael's levels were 3 times the upper limit of normal. Instead of adjusting his psychiatric medication, his doctor proposed a 6-month experiment focused entirely on lowering inflammation, an anti-inflammatory diet, moderate daily exercise, a strict sleep schedule, and mindfulness practices to manage stress. Michael was skeptical. It felt too simple, too physical for a problem that lived in his head, but he was desperate. The first month was difficult, but by the end of the 3rd month, he told his doctor something remarkable. He said, "I feel lighter." The constant heavy static noise in his head had quieted. By 6 months, his depression scores had dropped by more than half. And for the first time in years, he felt moments of genuine, unforced joy. His CRP levels were now normal. The war wasn't won by a new strategy in his mind. It was won by a truce declared in his body. The problem is, how do you start this process when you're at rock bottom? How do you fight a fire when the depression itself has taken all your water? This is the cruel paradox of recovery. The very changes that will give you energy require energy to implement. When just getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain, the advice to overhaul your diet and exercise feels like a cruel joke. The classic approach of setting big ambitious goals is destined to fail here. The solution is to think smaller, radically smaller. The goal is not to put out the whole fire in one day. The goal is to create one single drop of water. Your mission is to identify the smallest possible action that casts a vote for an anti-inflammatory state. So small it's almost laughable. So easy you can't say no. That might be putting a glass of water on your nightstand tonight, so you can drink it first thing in the morning. It might be walking to the mailbox and back. It might be eating one piece of fruit or foregoing the sugar in your coffee one time. It might be turning off your phone just 5 minutes earlier than usual. These actions seem insignificant. They are not. Each one is a message to your body. Each tiny win does two things. It provides a flicker of psychological momentum, but more importantly, it makes a real physical change. That single glass of water helps your kidneys flush out metabolic byproducts. That 5-minute walk gently stimulates anti-inflammatory pathways. That one piece of fruit delivers antioxidants that neutralize a few free radicals. The effect is microscopic, but it's real. That microscopic reduction in the inflammatory load frees up a microscopic amount of energy. Energy you can then use tomorrow for a slightly less small action, a 10-minute walk. 2 pieces of fruit. This is how you escape the trap. You don't use willpower to storm the castle. You use gentle, consistent action to build a positive feedback loop. 1 drop becomes 2. 2 drops become 4. You're not fighting depression anymore. You are a systems engineer, patiently and methodically changing the inputs to a complex system and observing the outputs shift. Your depression is not a weakness. It is not a flaw in your personality. It could be the most intelligent, high-fidelity signal your body is capable of producing. It's a sign from a deeply intelligent system that is trying to protect you from an environment it perceives as hostile. The exhaustion, the withdrawal, the anhedonia, they are a biologically sophisticated strategy to get you to stop, rest, and heal from a perceived wound. The tragedy is that the wound is everywhere, and the healing never gets to complete. This is not a cure-all. For some, depression has deep roots in trauma, in genetics, in life circumstances that must be addressed with therapy, with medication, with community support. Professional help is a sign of strength and a vital part of healing. This understanding is not a replacement for that help. It is a powerful foundational layer to add beneath it. It gives you back a sense of agency over your own biology. You can't control the world, but you can influence the environment within your own skin. You have spent so much time trying to think your way into feeling better. Starting today, what if you chose to live your way into thinking better? The signal your mind is sending is not an enemy to be defeated. It's a compass. It's pointing to the fire. It's time to stop fighting the alarm and start walking toward the smoke. The work of healing begins now, and it starts with the next thing you choose to eat, the next hour of sleep you protect, the next step you take outside. Your body has been speaking to you this whole time. It's time to finally listen.